All right, guys, here's the tires that I use typically for the dedicated snow tires for the Subaru Forester. Okay, you can obviously tell how good the traction is. They're studded. That's what they look like. Okay, that's from the Subaru Forester. And I'm going to tell you what, these tires are awesome. Okay, stop great, take off really good. So I've got zero complaints about these tires. And let's talk more about the weatherpeaks. All right, now these are on the Subaru Forester. Okay, 2015 Forester, and I've got the weatherpeaks, and these are still pretty new. You can tell by looking at them. These are the Falcon wildpeak, and they look great. They drive really good on the freeway, but these are the Falcon weatherpeaks. Okay, trail, AT trail, and there you go. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys my review on this car, long-term review, and let's go see how many miles is on this car now. So this is the 2017, and right now we've got 127,000 miles, 125. Okay, now I did a long-term review on this car quite a while back. A lot has honestly changed, a lot. So a few things have happened. One of them was the CVT started going bad, and it was actually the CVT valve body. Okay, so as you guys, I don't know if you watched my first video on the long-term review, but I did several repairs on this vehicle, and for the most part I do everything myself. The only thing I don't do is I don't change the tires. I don't mount or dismount the tires. I go to somewhere to get the tires done. And so far I've done 3 wheel bearings on this car, 2 front CV axles, and let's see what else. I've done all the brakes on this vehicle as well. I did change the antifreeze on this vehicle here not too long ago as well, and that was actually really easy to do. There's lots of videos on how to do so, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've done. I have did a drain and fill on the CVT transmission. I did that a long time ago, around 80,000 miles was when I did that drain and fill. But when they so the other problem that I had was the CVT valve body went bad, and I think that went bad like right around 120,000 miles. And so first thing that I did was I called Subaru of North America, and they told me to take my vehicle into a dealership, which I did, and to get it diagnosed and see what's wrong. So I had the Christmas lights, they all popped up, you know, up there on the dash. My wife was driving it at the time. She said the engine was, or the transmission was jerky and hesitating. And so I called the dealership, made an appointment. We were able to drive it there, so I just kind of followed her there to the service center, dropped it off, told them that Subaru of North America gave me the code or the reference number for this repair. And when I called them, I told them I pulled the codes and it looked like it was the valve body. And so they wanted me to verify that with the dealership. And just to verify it with a dealership costs like $100 or $200. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, but they do charge you just to diagnose it. And I get it, you know, they want to make sure they do their end and they do it right. So after we dropped it off, the dealership called me back and said, yep, it's the valve body, you know, and they also called Subaru of North America up to let them know what the problem was. And so they called me back. Subaru of it was either Subaru of North America or the dealership, and told me that it was about a $2,000 job, and Subaru of North America was willing to pay for $1,000 of it. You know, even though it was out of warranty. Now you got to understand, I was 120,000 miles. I honestly was like, I don't know what they're going to do, but I figured it wasn't going to hurt to ask. So that's what I recommend that you guys do if you start to get the Christmas lights and the CVT valve body starts to go wrong. Give them a call, because you know what? They need to know that. And they told me as well. They're like, you know, we're glad that you called. We want to know what kind of problems our Subarus are having so we can learn lessons from it, or maybe do a recall or something like that. So they were happy that I did do that. And I was happy that they're willing to pay half of it, because, you know, I called another independent Subaru place who specializes only in Subarus, and they were going to charge $1,800 to do it versus, you know, $2,000 from the dealership. So yeah, they were able to fix it actually relatively quick. So once they got the okay from me and from the corporation, they fixed it in like 2 days. I didn't get no loaner vehicle because it was a pretty fast repair, and I had a spare vehicle anyways, which, by the way, is an awesome 2002 RAV4 that has had zero problems for me, even though it's got well over 200,000 miles, and it is way over there. It's that black one, okay? So that one there, guys, it's got 200,000 miles. It's like a 2002 RAV4, runs great, zero problems, okay? And here I am back in my Subaru at 120,000 miles with all these issues and problems. Now, I took this car for a really long drive over the weekend. Drove all the way to central Washington, kind of towards the east side, over the mountain pass and everything. And there was snow on the pass. And I have the Falcon wildpeaks. And honestly, I'll be very honest with you guys, it did not do that well in the snow. The get up and go is not too much of an issue because it's four-wheel drive. It's actually stopping. And I felt like I've lost control trying to stop in the hard compacted ice or snow, mix, mostly compacted snow. But it just felt like it did not grip the snow as well as I hoped. So I'll be honest with you, I'm probably not going to, once these tires wear out, I'm going to probably try some Yokohama's Geolander. I think they're GO15 all-terrains. I might try those. If you guys know of some really cool ones, or if you try the Yokohamas in the snow, let me know how they go. I've seen great reviews on those as well, so I'm going to be trying those out, and I'm probably going to buy those for my RAV4s. I've got 2 other RAV4s. The Falcon wildpeaks do have really good wet grip, and they're really good on the freeway, wet and dry driving. But in terms of snow, I was somewhat disappointed, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that's my take on it. Long-term review on this vehicle, some more. I still like it. I mean, I love the way it drives. It drives great for long trips. Amazing visibility. I mean, it's like, you look left and right and you can see the rear and the front really well. So that's, props to that. But in terms of like long-term review, I changed my miles. I mean, I changed the oil about every 5,000 miles pretty religiously. I have the Famoto valve. I recommend you get one of those. It works really awesome. Now, a couple things I do with the oil. So I run a thicker oil, and I've noticed that when I run a thicker oil, it starts up a lot more quiet and better. There's no like dry starts or any funky noises, no tickings or anything like that. It sounds like it's running really smooth. So I actually use like a either a 5 or 10W 30 or 40. I think 30. I think I go like 1030 or something like that, or 530. And then what I'll also do is I'll add the Lucas oil treatment, and I'll take a picture of that and kind of put it at the end of the video. But I buy that off Amazon or Fred Meyer's, actually. Kroger, they sell it too. actually fairly reasonable. And the nice thing that I figured out about Fred Meyer's is that they will price match. So if I buy oil or car products from Fred Meyer's or Kroger, they price match it to the items that are on Amazon. So be mindful of that, guys. So that was it. You know, I'm kind of like waiting for the next thing to fail on this car. And, you know, I'm thinking in my mind what can potentially go wrong. It kind of sucks to think that way, but I'm thinking the lower control arms. We'll see how they go. I actually added some silicone treatment to the lower control arm bushings. So it's, we'll see. I'll probably take a picture of that and add that at the end of the video as well. If you have any other questions about this Subaru Forester, let me know. I don't have the eyesight on here. It's pretty basic, which is fine. It runs really good. I've got the LEDs on it, and they're bright as hell. There they are. There's the LEDs. Yeah, I know. I'm the guy. I'm that guy, okay, with the LEDs. But hey, you know what? I can see really well. And to be honest, when I put in the nice halogens, the upgraded halogens, I got flashed for those. I don't actually get flashed too much with the LEDs like I thought I would. But anyways, they work really well on this car. Yeah, that's kind of my second part of the long-term review. You can also watch the first one that I put in earlier as well. But, you know, that's kind of how it goes. Right now I'm getting about, it says I'm getting 25 miles per gallon. And honestly, I like using the thicker oil. It just seems to run a lot better. Makes it's not as quiet, it's not as noisy. Oh, one thing I did do is I actually replaced the muffler on this car, and I replaced it with the, I think it was like the Walker quiet exhaust. I think the brand was a Walker brand. I'll go give you guys a look at it. It was actually pretty easy to do, and it runs really good. Let me start up the car. So 127,000 miles. There you go. I just did the exhaust. I just did that. It was actually pretty quick and easy. I made a video on it as well, and it's actually run really good in terms of quietness and acceleration and everything like that. I haven't had any issues, even though I bought the wrong gasket for it. I was still able to make it work. But you know what? It still works good. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's the original exhaust off the Subaru, and if you look carefully, it says Subaru right on it. Okay, so the Walker exhaust was pretty much a perfect fit. I had to make a couple adjustments. I mean, just kind of wiggle it in really good, but it worked really well. Actually, it was a pretty easy, quick swap out. There's the connection area. But yeah, I took this out. The car sounds great, no issues, drives good. I would highly recommend it if you're having problems with the exhaust. Okay, and I was just getting this horrible rattle. It was a rattling, and I was just like, what the hell is wrong with it? So changed it out. But there's the car. Okay, just still in good shape. The brakes lasted about 100,000 miles, and these are the wildpeaks. I like them. Okay, I like the look of them, but they could be a lot more better gripping in the snow, I'll tell you that much. Anyways, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up if you find this helpful, and I do have a couple other reviews on this Subaru Forester 2015. Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay, so here's the oils that I like to use. I got the Lucas heavy duty oil stabilizer, synthetic high mileage 1030, or sometimes I'll use the 530 as well. But this combination seems to work really good. Like I said, the engine's been running strong, and I'm hoping I'm not going to have any head gasket issues in the future. All right, guys, so these are the champiros that I've got. Champiro Ice Pro. Okay, now these are 17 inches, 225, 45, 17. I run these on the Subaru Forester. Yes, they are a little bit small and dinky. Yes, I wish they were bigger and 60 series instead of 45. But nevertheless, I mean, look at these freaking studs, these knobby things. They channel water really well. These are awesome in the snow. Okay, so highly recommend them. Yes, I'm gonna use these again when it snows a lot.